Yo, it's your boy Dctree, and this is Dctree-Nation, the channel on YouTube that covers hoops and heroes. And today we're talking heroes. We're talking the new Hawkeye series, y'all. And Disney Plus did their thing. They dropped 2 episodes today, so I couldn't wait to dive into this bad boy. And I gotta tell you, man, it's good to have this boy back. Good to have Hawkeye back. So underrated as a character for Avengers, man. So I was hyped to see him. Because I really like when the MCU does not always participate in the stars. You know, I like the Eternals movie, you know, I like Iron Man, but sometimes you got to get nitty gritty. You got to get down to earth. And this show so far, so good, has a slow climb to it, which I like, and I'll talk about a little bit more later. But I like it, and I like how they just give positive nods to some of Hawkeye's bad beep moments, you know? I got him. Because he deserves to shine too. He deserves to have his moments too. And putting him with Kate Bishop is instant chemistry, instant success. I love the fact that these guys are not good at what they're doing at first. That's realistic. Now down to earth. That's awesome, man. I hope they evolve into a better team than Luke Cage and Iron Fist was that time. You guys know what I'm trying to say, man. They may not be as good as Heroes for Hire, but it's a good little, you know, Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid thing going on right now. But it reminds me a whole lot of anime stories, and I don't tell you why. But before I jump too deep into it, if you like my content, please sub to the channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for the continued support. Okay guys, I won't keep you here long. This will be a spoiler-free review, but I do have to make some small references to the 2 episodes to kind of make my point. So you see the title of the video. Why does this remind me of an anime? And the reason why it does remind me of an anime is because they do have a huge, you know, Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid dynamic between Kate Bishop and Clint Barton. It's just working automatically. I don't know why it's working automatically, because they didn't do a whole lot to make their meeting happen, but it clicks, man. It just has that feeling. It also has the slow crawl that anime has. You know, when you have the young Padawan making all these mistakes, and then eventually it's just gonna bust out. And if you watch these first 2 episodes, you just know that Kate Bishop has all this untapped potential, all this untapped power, man. Like, she's like the MCU version of Broly. I'm lying. I'm exaggerating. I'm totally exaggerating. But the point I'm trying to make is that she has some unlocked potential that eventually Clint is going to have to pull out. And I feel like the payoff is going to be good for the slow climb. So that's why I'm making the comparison to anime, because you all know anime starts off really slow. Whether it's Naruto, Deku off of My Hero, you know, and even Goku, you know, in Dragon Ball, they start off really slow and then they pick up speed and they become great. And I got that feeling that's what Kate Bishop is going to do. Also, I just love how the show brings it back down to earth and lets us realize as an audience that these are human characters. These are humans. Hawkeye is a human, and there's consequences for dibbling and dabbling in the fights with gods and monsters. There's consequences for that. Now, we saw that with Endgame with Natasha. Obviously, it cost her life. But here's Clint. Clint is still here. He's still dealing with the consequences physically, emotionally. He's having, you know, glimpses of maybe some anxiety going into, you know, this series. It isn't this James Bond-esque type situation where you just go to adventure with no consequences, no pains, no, you know, no lag, no anxiety. And I love how they're bringing that forth with the Hawkeye character. I love that his family is kind of struggling with him, you know, because he's trying to balance 2 lives. He's trying to balance really 3, you know, a life as an Avenger, a life as a family man, and then the life of Ronin that he left behind after the snap was undone. You get what I'm saying? So it's consequences to these characters' actions, and he has to take on all that as a grown man with a family. Yet he sees this protege in the making that wants to be everything like he was, you know. So how do you balance that? And that's what makes the MCU so entertaining, because they're human stories with real people that you can relate to. It's not just, you know, people flying into space, killing monsters and blowing stuff up. It's a human story. It's a family story. It's a relatable story. The humor is on point. This is the MCU, you know, that's going good. Everything's on point so far. So far out of these 2 episodes, man, I have to give it a healthy 8.5 out of 10, because they did their thing and getting me interested. They did their thing, keeping me invested. I love for them to crank up the action a little bit more, but hey, just like in anime fashion, you know, you start slow with a huge payoff later, and I know that's coming. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Thank you for kicking it with me. Be sure to check out the other superhero videos on the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.